Alright, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy PXG Cash. We're coming at you with another week 5 battle video. This one taking place between the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors and the Adelaide Absols. Adelaide. The Seattle Sharingan Serperiors, as you guys know, picked up Scolipede and both Kieran Black and Malamar for their squad. So this is the final roster for the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors. They're no longer eligible for drops or trades. And this is the roster for the Adelaide Absols. So after careful planning, deliberating, and whatnot, what we have for you today is Lando, Therian, Diancie, Embor, Malamar, Rotom, Mo, and Mega Blastoise for the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors. Versus Duck Trio, Fortress, Mega Gyarados, Chandelure, Latias, and Klefki for the Adelaide Absols. Now, the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors are currently undefeated at 4-0. Can the Adelaide Absols finally give the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors their first loss? We will be seeing Week 5, Seattle Sharingan Serperiors versus the Adelaide Absols. Let Curt issue the challenge. Sends out Klefki. Lindo will be sending out Kaido, the Lando Therian. Starts off with the Intimidate. Lowering Klefki's attack. Curt withdrawing Klefki already. Breaking the Earthquake. Lando goes for the Stealth Rocks. Both of these people do have pokes that have a way to remove rocks, and there it is.
It used hidden power!
Fortress going for the Stealth Rocks. So Curt will be withdrawing Fortress, and in this place will be Latias. Takes damage from the rocks. Now, when it goes for the U-turn, there will be a super effective hit on Latias, who is able to hang on. Now coming out for Lindomar will be Sarada Uchiha v Diancie, who will be taking damage from the rocks. Now Curt will be withdrawing Latias, goes into Klefki, does take minor damage from the rocks. Now Diancie goes for the Reflect, raising its team's defense. So long as that Reflect is up on the field. Klefki recovering his HP with the leftovers. Klefki goes for the Thunder Wave.
Use Thunder Wave!
Diancie will be paralyzed, making it much lower than it is already paralyzed. Klefki starts to set up and reveals the spikes. Once again, Diancie is paralyzed. I know that all too well. Klefki again goes for another set of spikes. Diancie actually able to move this time, goes for the light screen, raising his team's special defense. Now Linda will be withdrawing Diancie, and in his place is Dr. Evil, the Malamar. Does take damage from the spikes and the rocks. Klefki goes for another layer of spikes. Does recover his HP with the leftovers. Klefki goes again for the Thunder Wave.
It used Thunder Wave!
Malamar is now paralyzed. Malamar goes for the Superpower. Due to Contrary's ability, its attack and defense go up as opposed to its usual down. Klefki recovering his HP with the leftovers, as is Malamar. Klefki goes for the foul play using Malamar's attack stat. Once again, Superpower. And once again, Malamar's attack and defense going up. Klefki recovering his HP with the leftovers, as is Malamar. Curt, withdrawing its Clef Key, goes into Chandelure. Lindo goes for the rest on Malamar, which will heal it up and remove its paralysis. Lindo goes for the trick. It will be giving its specs to Malamar, and it will be taking its leftovers. As Malamar is a physical attacking poke, that is a nice strat by Curt. Now it goes straight into the Fire Blast. Malamar able to take the hit. Lindo recovering his HP with the leftovers. Curt withdraws Chandelure. Brings out Klefki again. Does take damage from the rocks. Malamar does wake up and goes for knockoff, so Lindo will be locked into knockoff. That knockoff was enough to knock out Klefki. Lindo up on the board 6-5. The light screen is gone, the reflect has been gone on Lindo's side. Next comes out Gyarados, and to Intimidate will be raising Malamar's attack +1 as opposed to minus. Malamar currently sitting at +3 attack, +2 defense. Out comes out Mega Gyarados. As we all know, Malamar is currently locked into a knockoff. Gyarados goes for the substitute. Malamar able to break the substitute in one hit, as it should at +3. Gyarados goes for the Dragon Dance. Hopefully we'll be able to knock it out. Malamar again goes for the knockoff. Gyarados is resisting the hit, goes for Waterfall. +2. Doesn't do enough damage. Malamar again goes to the knockoff, and it is enough. It was a crit. I don't believe the crit mattered there. I could be wrong. But Mega Gyarados is knocked off. Out comes out Latias. We'll be taking damage from a rock. I don't think Latias wants to get hit by a knockoff. Goes for the Draco Meteor. Does land it. Malamar has been boosting its physical defense. Nothing with the special. It is enough. Dr. Evil the Malamar does go down. Curt on the board now, 5-4. Out comes out HMO1, you know that's Romo. We'll be taking damage from the rocks. Goes straight into the Shadow Ball, which it should be enough, and Latias will be going down, 5-3. Next comes out the Trio. Does take damage from the rocks. Now Rotom goes for the Shadow Ball, might be locked into it. I think it's also scarfed. Dugtrio goes for Stone Edge, does miss. Dugtrio goes for the Shadow Sucker Punch. Rotom goes for the Shadow Ball, which will be enough. Dugtrio goes down, 5-2. Out comes out Chandelure. Takes damage from the rocks. Then we'll be recalling its Rotom. In this place is Janemba the Embor. Takes damage from the rocks and takes heavy amounts from the spikes. And we're going for the Energy Ball. I'm guessing predicted the switch into Blastoise there. Chandelure does recover with its leftovers. Goes once again into the Shadow Ball. Embor is able to take the hit. Embor goes for the Rock Tomb. Chandelure at death's door. Its speed will be dropped. Does recover with its leftovers. It's still in the red, as is Embor. And Embor goes for the Sucker Punch. This is a super effective hit. Chandelure goes down. 5-1. Out comes out the Fortress. Takes damage from the rocks. Lindo will be recalling its Embor. Goes into Kaido, the Landotherian. Will be taking damage from the rocks. Will intimidate the Fortress, bringing out attack stat by 1. Fortress going for it.
Massive explosion!
Goes for the explosion. Will it be enough to take down its attacker with it? Lando barely living on. Fortress does go down. It is a 5-0 victory for Lindo and the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors.
And there goes the battle!
GG's to both coaches. That does put the Adelaide Absols at 1-4. And the Seattle Sharingan Serperiors will be continuing their winning streak at 5-0. Had that Intimidate not lowered down his attack, that explosion would have taken down Lando, but it is what it is. As I said, GG's to both coaches. As always, like and subscribe so you can keep watching more battles from the Worldwide Champions League. Until next time, I am PXG Cash Howard, coach of the New York Nido Kings, signing off.